what you do sucks. Through those terrible changes that are always anti-consumer, then you would still have a large player base and you could still finance yourself. Instead, you're throwing whatever you've got left into Robots Frontiers that barely anybody plays. The Dino Squad is dead. What else do you got? The only thing you've got left is Robots, and it's dead. Because of you! What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni, and we've got some nerfs to talk about because brand new ultimate items are now being nerfed like crazy. Literally more than 50% in the case of the ultimate Tulumbas, my friends. So this is something we're gonna look at, and also you guys told me you wanna see all the nerfs or the reaction of mine to all the nerfs that previously happened last week or whatever that I missed in all of the trouble of moving and leaving my country for good, moving somewhere else. And you know, if you want to know more about this process, there's this channel right here. I link it down in the description, pinned comment, also on TikTok and Instagram. So check it out if you want. But yeah, you're gonna get some reactions. This might be just what War Robots Ryan is looking for to create some new montage. Let's see if I can keep the good spirit coming, because you know I typically lose it when I see what Pixonic is doing with the game. But we're gonna get there, okay? Let's start off with the newest releases that they gave yesterday by the time you see this video, because I'm recording this on Friday, but I release it on Saturday. Alright, so we start off with the Avalanche. It used to have 24 ammo. Then it was apparently in between to 10, and now they've put it back to 12. So they've effectively nerfed it by 50%, the ammo pool. And the reloading threshold, though, goes to 7. The reload threshold. So, what does that mean? How much ammo it reloads per tick? No, it never reloaded 15 per tick. I'm a little confused what exactly is meant with that. But yeah, let's go to Flux. Excluded from the rebalance list. Great, that's a good change. Alright, Titans are changing their tier revision. Apparently Luchador, Indra, Heimdall, Aether, and Sirius were tier 4, then were moved to tier 3, and now they're moved to tier 4 again. Wow, those balance changes are wild. Bersagliere is... Wait, he gained durability and then he lost durability again. But overall, he still gained durability. But bonus damage for long-range shots went down. So that's something I think I even heard about, is that the fatigue effect or whatever, the bonus from the shots is being reduced, right? Is that... Yeah. From 60 to 40 to 20. So this has just been increasing in its effectiveness or in its strength as a nerf. Then we have the Mauler. Resistance to dot was 30%, then 15%. And now it's 25%. So basically it's not as much of a nerf as people thought it was going to be. Eiffel, bonus damage to slots activated by Cannoneer. Okay, the bonus damage to the slots, so the extra 2 heavy alpha weapons, used to be 25, then 8, now 10%. Okay, if that's what they mean. Titan weapons, Munin. Particle damage increase actually from 1,650 to 1,950. Isn't that odd? Haven't these weapons been already like performing immensely, you know, devastating? Okay, anyways, pilots. Yan Li pilot for Titans went to tier 3 and back to tier 4. Okay, but we're getting to the ultimate stuff in a second. Works on all Titans. Only works on tier 3 Titans, now works on all Titans released before 11.6. Wow, dude. They're changing Yan Li to no longer be a pilot that you can use in any upcoming Titan. Pixonic is unhappy with the fact that you once obtained a pilot and you can use it all the time. It is annoying to them, even though they heavily remonetize you every single time you swap the pilot into a different Titan. You have to relearn all of the skills and level them again. They absolutely heavily over-monetize something that was already sold to you before, and they're still not having enough. Now Yan Li will stop working past the 11.6 updates on new Titans that are coming out. They just can't get enough. And so Cliff Debus, the Ravager pilot, gets the Sanctuary durability bonus removed almost completely, from 15% to now back to 5%. Alright, let's get to the ultimate weapons, alright? Ultimate Tulumbas. This is the craziest one I only looked into this for a second, and only looked at the Tulumbas, because my friend Ominous Circuit let me know about this, okay? And the damage per particle went down from 8.5 to 7.2, but then back to 8,000, so that hasn't been much of a change, but the shot interval, basically your fire rate, went from 0.23 to 0.5. So that alone is a DPS loss of more than 50, like 55%. Okay? Plus the damage is lower, so maybe 60% DPS loss. Of course, if you fire empty the weapon all the way, then you still basically do, well, almost the damage from before, but you just need more than twice as long to do that. Enemies have more time to get in cover. And it's funny, I just released a video on the Ultimate Tulumbas telling you how ridiculous these weapons are, right? And how just game breaking, especially when you have the map awareness and you understand the splash damage and where you can hit people around the walls. Something that not everybody has the same level of, like, min-maxing of every single missile fired in the game, right? If you do this, these weapons were just completely game breaking. Yeah, just a few days later, they nerf him. I wouldn't say it's because of me. No way. Because this, usually a nerf like this is in the pipeline for a while. So this is just a happy coincidence. But it is here. And in general, I hate any nerf. Even though in this case, the weapon was drastically overperforming. But why was it drastically overperforming? It's because Pixonic made it like this to make the sales. And now after the sales have rolled in, now they're getting nerfed, you know? So how could I be pro-nerf if it's always you, my viewers, my player base, our player base, that gets hit by it? Even though, yeah, technically these weapons definitely overperformed drastically and needed a nerf, but you know what? They should have just been implemented the right way from the start, but that's not how Pixonic operates. They think they only sell content if they completely break the game. And maybe it's even true, who knows? Maybe you just don't buy it if it's not breaking the game. I don't have the numbers, but at the end of the day, when something like this happens, it's you who gets hit. And that's why I can never be pro-nerf, even in a clear instance like this, where the nerf is kind of needed, but, what do you do? Ultimate Hussar. Damage per particle, 9.2 to 8.7. Alright, that's not really that much of a change. Ultimate arm weapons. The light one gets, well, it was 4.5, then 3.5. Now 3.9, basically. Okay, but good, like, 450 would be, yeah, it's like a 15% nerf at the end of the day. The medium version actually loses a little more, I would say. 2,300 damage it loses, the medium one. Ultimate Grom. Interesting. So they nerfed it and they buffed it back up to its full capacity or power that it had before. Apparently, it was not broken in Pixonic's eyes. Yeah, I've only seen videos with Berserklieres basically one-shotting everything, but, it's the Berserkliere. Maybe that's what they changed too. So, Ultimate Vortex. Shot interval from 6 seconds to 4 and then 5. Okay, so, alright. So you have... Wait a minute. Does that mean you have a higher fire rate? But wait, the reload interval... It's the same numbers. So the reload is faster. So it's a buff. The shot interval goes down. The time between the shots goes down, meaning you fire more often. Sounds like a buff to me. All right, robots, sword unit. They didn't even write sword unit. It's just sword. They know what we mean. Sword base damage from 8,000 to 4,000, half, and then back to 3,000, dude. So they've really gone ahead and made sure the sword unit is not slashing through enemy lines like this anymore. Okay. I wonder if this applies to the ultimate sword unit too, because the ultimate, robots, they're considered different robots. So I wonder is the ultimate one also changed? Because if it wasn't, this thing would be ridiculous. This change would be ridiculous if the ultimate one still swings with 12,000 or 10, Robot weapons, regulators. Particle dispersion from 20 to 50%. Wait a minute, that means you're spreading shots. You're missing shots due to spread. You have, in theory, 800 meters range. Remember that the regulators have already been nerfed to the ground with their reload. And now they're increasing. This is always what I freaking hate about the game, is that they just nerf it once, then they nerf it again in phase 2, and sometimes a third time. And by the end of, when they're finished with it, the weapon is basically completely useless. You may as well throw it away. And that's working as intended, because you're supposed to buy the new stuff in the game. Reapers, 6 seconds reload, ammo 6 shots to 7 and back to 6. And reload from 6 back to 6, so no change on the Reapers. Wait a minute, but whoa. Hold on, didn't the Reaper reload like 12 seconds before? Did I miss another nerf or buff in between? Because I feel like the Reapers had a much longer reload than 6 seconds. Huh. Reload amount. I'm a little confused here. Because I know there is some changes above that I haven't seen yet. That's the ones that you guys also told me to look at. Gangil, Mogwan, and Kirin. Damage per particle goes down. Overall goes down. Medium as well, a good 25% here. Heavy goes down by a similar margin. Reload interval goes up. So it takes a longer time to reload your weapons, and they do less damage. So that is a heavy nerf right there, friends. Howler, Growler, Screamer, particle dispersion reduced, so they are hitting more accurately now. Alright. Shatter, Splinter, Brisant, damage per particle went up, which I think it should. Those are like shotgun kind of weapons, and they haven't really been working out very well recently. It's not much of a buff, but anything helps, so I like it. Trickster, Deceiver, damage per particle from 60 to 75. Status effect accumulation rate plus 12.5%. I don't understand it. Pixonic, do you never play your games? Do you ever just play the game? Or do you just look at stats? Because I'm not trying to be a douchebag, but if you would play your game and you would slap Trickster or Deceiver on a robot and you play with them, you'll notice immediately that these weapons are completely useless. 100% worth. Honestly, Punishers are better than this. Regular Punishers. Why? The damage of the shots is so low. Do you know how many shielded opponents we have in War Robots now? Basically every second or more than every second enemy has a yellow shield now. You can't ever break through a yellow shield with these weapons. You just don't have the firepower, which means your entire corrosion cannot be applied to the enemy, because you have made it so that the corrosion doesn't reach through the shields. And even if it did, you changed the corrosion time to be so short, the actual tick time, that you cannot really effectively build up a meaningful amount of corrosion that will do a meaningful amount of damage. Every damage aspect caused by corrosion is neglectable. And then you've made it so that any damage caused by corrosion can be 100% repaired back. Which, you know how effective the unstable conduit is in repairing gray HP, and the regular advanced repair unit, boom, 40% instantly. You can heal all of it back with the battleships too and the pilots, because it's corrosion-based damage. So on like every possible level and every step of the way, you have ensured that corrosion is completely useless. So if you would play your game, you would know that, and you would boost the initial damage from 60 to 250 or something. And then you would also make sure that the corrosion that you do finally manage to apply sticks with the guy for a really long time. And I'm not saying 2 minutes, but instead of like 5 seconds or 6, or what is it, 8? I don't know, how long does it stick with you? Really not long. Maybe 20 seconds or so, that you can actually realistically build up a meaningful amount. Maybe enough that would even kill somebody in his last stand, you know? So my advice to you, Pixonic, play your game from time to time. And not only look at stats, because they only tell you half of the story. Alright, we have Boom, Bash, Pow. Freaking hate the names. It's funny that the names actually kind of really represent what they do. But, yeah, it's just so childish. Anyways, reduced the shaking effect of the target. Thank goodness. Wasn't it bad enough that you lost all your robot, and if you didn't lose it, you would shake around like an idiot. Drones, Shade Drone, bonus damage, the defense points for dealing damage from 12 to 7 to 12, so it stays the same. Bonus defense points stack limit is only 2 now. So wait, you can get a maximum of 24 defense points from the Shade Drone. No longer can you get 5 times 12. Huh. By the way, you can see the relation between likes and dislikes. I don't remember when we last had a rebalance where there was like an overwhelming amount of positive feedback. Did we ever have this? Maybe back in the old days. I mean, remember that War Robots used to be one of the most successful titles on the mobile gaming market. I remember that when I started War Robots, it was so immensely effective. So, and here we are with, with the original nerfs. So this is something that you may have already heard about, but it is a lot of things that I have not yet seen. Haven't reacted to it. Like I said, I've been moving around, leaving my country, selling my entire life down to 2 suitcases and a backpack, because I just couldn't stay in Germany anymore. This country is just falling. It's just, yeah, but if you want to know more about this, just check out the other videos. This is an entertaining gaming channel. I don't want to go into politics here, but if you want to know it, check out the Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and the new YouTube Shorts channel that I linked down below. Then you can get yourself informed on all of my opinions, but I think this has no place on our fun channel for lots of positive reactions. Tier 3 weapons, Blaze, Ember, and Igniter. Okay, so nerf. Huh. All of them nerfed. Why? Shot interval, slowed down, ammo capacity increase, AoE damage slightly increased. So overall, big nerf to Blaze, Igniter, Ember. I don't get it. I don't get it. Honestly, I don't get it. These weapons have not been overperforming. They're actually not so easy to use right. When an enemy moves around a lot, it's very difficult to predict the movement. I think you should be heavily rewarded with good damage output from these slow traveling flames if you do manage to anticipate the enemy, lock him down, or whatever, right? Apparently they disagree. Marquez, Hussar, again, this is a case of they're not playing their game. If they would play the game, they know it's a really difficult thing to use these weapons effectively. And I think they would realize that this nerf does not need to happen. Marquez, Hussar, Dragoon. Wow, pretty significant damage drops across the board. Reload interval goes down though, so you're reloading faster, but you're losing damage per shot. Overall nerf. And there's a dispersion now. So wait, you're saying that Hussars, Marquez, and Dragoons are missing shots now? Aren't they like our most accurate laser guns that we had? Okay. Avalanche. So here's Avalanche again. Remember that it was nerfed down below. But the weird thing is it announces the same nerf that they have already mentioned below. I believe what they did, they edited it and already adjusted the numbers. So some of the things that were mentioned below are now mentioned the same way up here. I believe in between it probably was edited differently and it had a different number. Redeemer. Particle damage going down. Wow. So they sell you the ultimate Redeemer that bashes the heck out of you, and then they nerf the regular Redeemer. They even increased the burst interval. Wow. The burst duration. Okay, it fires 5 particles now, but that doesn't help enough. Ammo goes up. Reload amount goes slightly up. And also has a dispersion. What are you doing with dispersion? I mean, this is a 350 meters range weapon. How much dispersion are you going to feel at 350 meters range? Shock train, no dispersion. Damage per particle goes up, ammo down. So you lose 20% firepower per shot on the ammo part, but you gain a little bit back here, so you still lose like 15% when you fire your button. Reload amount goes down. Obviously, it has only 4 shots now, so it will reload 4 shots. Maximum charge 4. Reload threshold 4 to 3. Okay. I think that means you cannot fire before it has at least 1 shot reloaded. Isn't that what it is? Punchers. Oh, by the way, guys, if you like to stay tuned on our robots, even though right now I'm going through a little bit older news, the other one I given you before is the newest one. So, yeah, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you like it, and feel free to also tune off if you already know all of these changes. But if you want my reactions and also see how I feel when I see it for the first time, then stay tuned. Okay, puncher goes up, shot interval goes up. No, okay, slower shot interval, lower fire rate, higher damage per particle. Ammo, wow, halved. Dude, they just halved your ammo pool. But they increased the lockdown accumulation rate by almost the same amount. So your damage goes down drastically per magazine, and they didn't increase your reload speed, so you're just screwed. You're just screwed if you're running punchers now. Wow, bro. Viper, okay, shot interval, slower. Acceleration, slower. Takes longer before it reaches its high firing state. Or damage per stack of dot goes higher. Yeah, okay. So, but again, also here, these weapons, they don't really do a lot of damage directly for heavy weapons, you know? So, I feel like this might have to be adjusted as well. Now, Titans. Atlas, frontal shield duration from 12 to 7 seconds. Remember, I also need to get updated myself on the new game, so that's why it makes sense for me to read all this. I may as well do it together with you for those of you who still want to be with me while I see it. Frontal shield, so no longer 12 seconds. I hated that 12-second frontal shield because it's basically was the same cooldown as his jump, so you had it all the time. How stupid. Built-in weapon damage particle 50 to 65,000. Okay, it's not really much of a difference though. Heavy plating, chef broil, durability threshold, 15% to 40%. Okay, this is from the legendary pilot, so you don't get your insta recharge of your abilities every 15%, but every 40% now. And it has an increased cooldown as well of 30 seconds instead of 20. Alright, big news. Big news makes the Atlas a lot less viable. Still a good Titan, but remember, phase 1 of a nerf, phase 2 of a nerf, that's how they roll. Mauler, movement speed, 42 to 32. Jeez. Why? Did I get a call? No. Dark light effective radius, 200 to 130 meters. Much smaller effect radius, okay? Dark light slowdown power is increased because it has a smaller radius. The death mark power has been increased also. Interesting. So you're affected by a stronger death mark, in fact. The dark light cooldown is, however, it's also slower, faster, like shorter. The hook cooldown is longer. Okay, that's a big one. Okay, that's actually meaningful here. 5 seconds. Damage to dot conversion, 4 to 2.5 seconds. Ooh, that's a problem for the Mauler. And resistance to dot goes also down to 25%. Amount of dot stacks removed by stabilization, Nina Kessler, also halved. Oh man. The Mauler just got completely dunked on, dude. Holy moly. They just completely ruined it. Well, at least by like 30%. Bersagliere. Alright, so this is where it gets the durability bonus. It gets even more defense points. Interesting, because it was so fragile before. Like, such a squishy thing to play. High risk, high reward is always how I saw the Bersagliere. But the fatigue shot damage goes down even further. Haven't they already nerfed this in a few updates a couple of months or weeks ago? And now there's like another one? Why? Yo, why? Because this thing, like, it's a freaking Titan weapon. Built-in special Titan weapon and it does no damage. What a joke. It's like it tickles the guy. Fatigue shot damage bonus halved. What? Damage bonus for long-range shots. What? 60 to 20%? Yo, goodbye, Bersagliere. You may as well just scrap the bow entirely. Just give him a little, like, I don't know, give him a little heart pillow. A pillow with a heart shape in nice red Valentine's thing instead of carrying the bow. Because you may as well remove it now. What's the point of that bow now? Just let him carry a nice Valentine's heart pillow. At least there's something to look at. Eiffel Titan. Bonus damage for the slots activated by Cannoneer. Is 25 to 10%, bro. Yo. I mean, how many people were actually playing the Eiffel? I saw a little rise. I saw a little rise on Eiffel plays. Pixonic probably saw it and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. They think they can play the Eiffel now. No, guys, this is an older Titan. You should understand, new stuff is what you're gonna get. That's what you want. So they saw this slight rise in the Eiffel usage, and they're like, nah, we can't have that, man. They gotta buy the new stuff. And boom, there they come. It just sickens me, because this game could have been so successful if it wasn't monetized on ruining the game all the time, you know, and selling, like, outselling itself every next update. That's the problem, really, right? There are games that are just selling skins. They're selling, like, cosmetics, like Brawl Stars and stuff, and they've been massively successful doing this, but whatever. Rook, defense points, 160 to 140. Movement speed went up, though. To be fair, the Rook rarely ever, like, most of his movement comes from his ability. The Indra, okay, that's gonna be interesting. Loses 74,000 durability. Why? It wasn't a particularly tanky Titan. Movement speed goes up. The lasso range goes down. Interesting, so it was 260. I never really knew the range. I always thought it's like 250 or something like this. I didn't know it was 260. What a random number. Because either they go with 250, 3, but it's rare that they give it like a 260 range, right? Electric lasso cooldown went up. Electro lasso repair went down. Oh man, you already had to like catch a bunch of guys in that to actually get a meaningful amount of HP. And in the past, I think this was so much higher. Jeez, this is like really, really low now. Electric lasso slowdown power is increased. Vipassana cooldown, I guess this is its like transcendence thing. Also something I never knew. I never knew or remembered how the transcendence / phase shift ability of the Indra is called. Apparently it's called Vipassana. Honestly, how many of you guys knew that word? Tell me in the comments, guys. Did you know this was called Vipassana? Nobody knew that. I guess those of you who guys really play the Indra all the time, you probably read it from time to time and you knew it. Alright. But us content creators, I would just throw into there, I would just, hopefully I'm not saying something wrong, but I think most of us refer to it maybe as phase shift or as transcendence. At least that's what I did. So the movement speed also went up. Okay, gotcha. So you're getting faster when you use your Vipassana ability. Luchador, reduced jump distance. Oh, whoa. Okay, it doesn't say how much. It would be helpful if they like tell you this in some sort of percentage number. Okay, like this was 100% before, now you jump about like 70% away, you know? That would be interesting. Because now I just don't know how much they've changed, you know? Nodens, bonus defense points from active support goes up. That's good, that's really good. Active support ally repair per tick goes up, that's also good. Because, you know, how many Nodens have you seen on the battlefield? Who wanted to go through the ordeal to play a Nodens in the meta, you know? But the ultimate Nodens is coming in, and so maybe they're using the same ability, and that's why they're buffing it. Active support self-repair also goes slightly up, but like very little. Sharenga, bonus damage from full power increased from 26 to 35. I think the Sharenga is once again our most powerful Titan when it comes to raw firepower. Phase Exile, also cooldown shorter, so you can time out the enemy faster. Then we have Void and Chasm, the Titan weapons that throw these rocks. Damage per particle actually went up. Huh. I thought there was going to be a nerf coming. Dispersion, 0, 300, 500. Okay, wait. Increase dispersion at 0 meters? What? How do you have a dispersion at 0 meters? Huh. Or maybe up until 299. Maybe that's what it means. And then up until 499, you have 50%. And after 500 meters, wait a minute, but it only reaches 500 meters far. I don't get it, but there is now a particle dispersion, so you're not hitting as accurately anymore, because it's more like a shotgun weapon anyways, right? Damage interval while in reload goes up, okay? While in reload mode, super confusing how they choose their words. Damage bonus to primary mode after reload. Okay, goes up. So overall, it's a buff, but only if you're getting closer to the enemy. If you're far away, you're doing probably a lot less damage. Munin Hugin. Oh, that's what they changed. So the alpha weapons, they lost tremendous damage per particle. And in the update below, remember they put it back up? Oh wait, but they didn't put it back up as much as they put it down here. I think, right? So it means this is a nerf. You saw, remember when I was confused that they would nerf Munin Mugin or Munin before? And I was like, but it was already strong. That's because I knew it with these numbers. So now they've made these numbers and then they buffed these numbers back up a little. And the reload amount by... holy smokes, man. That is a nerf if I've ever seen one. That's like... dude. Oh, man. Okay, the reload went a little faster and the ammo goes down. The bounce count also goes down. Yeah, okay, you rarely ever hit more than 3 guys. But hey, that is a 50% nerf right there. 45, 40%, I don't know. Equalizer Arbiter, oh god. Oh, I know they're gonna nerf him. Alpha, yeah. It loses, all of those weapons are losing like 20% firepower here. Nah, like, okay, maybe 17, 16%. Damage bonus at maximum range went up. Wait a minute, they have now a loss of damage at max range? What? That comes on top, so you're doing 40% less damage when you're firing at larger distances? Dude, that's serious. Together with the raw damage output, the shot interval is faster, but the overheat is also faster. Oh god, this weapon is broken now. Cooldown time takes longer as well. Well, thanks for ruining yet another weapon, Pixonic. We all appreciate it so much. Vara Mahavara. Damage goes down. The reload goes up. Nah. The ammo pool go... what does it mean, reload amount? Is it the ammo pool? Okay, the ammo pool goes up. And it can reload, obviously, to its maximum ammo pool. Just make it ammo. Why are you listing this? It's confusing. Reload interval from 5 to 4 seconds. Okay, so a little faster for the charge. Horizontal dispersion increased, vertical dispersion increased. Wow. So you've got to get really close with these weapons now, and even if you do, you still do a lot less damage. Alright, so... alright, crazy nerf. Striker has been nerfed. Are you kidding me? Okay, it can store more ammo. Yeah. So it can technically, with this change, it would deal more damage per hit, but it loses like 40% damage output right there. So tremendous damage nerf. And it probably takes longer for the reload to happen. Yeah, it takes longer to reload to its 8 charges, and you're still doing 40% less damage. Really? How many people have you seen in the Champions League using Striker? I've seen it maybe once every 3 matches. One Striker being used. You're telling me this weapon needed to be nerfed? You know, we have such a heavy meta for brawling. Especially with all these crazy powerful meta bomber robots. You know, like the Tef, like the sword unit. Brawling just dominates the game. If you're playing a sniper, you know you're having little impact on the battlefield. Yes, you can conveniently fire from a distance, and yes, you can sometimes piss off that guy really good. And when he spawns again, you can piss him off even more. That's fun. But it's not really carrying the game to just single somebody out and piss him off, okay? And that's basically what Striker was good for. You weren't winning matches with Striker. It wasn't game defining or game breaking. It was not even that good, actually. Well, it's being changed and nerfed. Evora Veyron. I realize that's a really long video, guys, but I gotta get up to date on it. So again, I just may as well do it together with you guys. Evora Veyron. Damage per particle goes up. Interesting, okay. Particle dispersion goes up though, so you're missing a lot more shot, even though the dispersion was already pretty substantial in those weapons before. So basically, if you're not standing right, like face hugging the enemy, you may as well stop firing at this point. Shot interval goes up, like you will have a slower fire rate, 30% ish slower. Reload interval goes down. So you will also fire for a longer time due to the slower fire rate, but you will hit with more damage output unless you're further away than, say, 100 meters, which is when you're starting to lose a lot more firepower. It's a nerf. Anguisher and Ruiner, dispersion increased, and the damage per dot stack increased. Nobody cares. Like I said before, no one cares about dot. Dot is useless. Everything that is related to dot, you could just read over it. You don't need to pay attention to it. It's a useless stat in the game right now. Yeah, it's funny when you kill something with dot, but how often does it happen, you know? Horizontal dispersion and vertical dispersion, that's a big change though. So you've got to get really close. But you know, that's how you played it anyways, right? You weren't like shooting at 200 meters with those. Boulevard Kirsten reload goes down. And the AoE I think I have to play those weapons now. They fire more often, they get a better splash radius, and they didn't in return ruin its damage output. Because it already sucked, you know? You would already do more damage with an ultimate vortex. Which is just sad. But maybe, yeah, I'm gonna run this. Crate Basilisk damage output. Wow, they're nerfing this? The beta gets a little bit more. The alpha loses damage per particle. How many people were using these weapons? I almost never saw somebody use this. Why? Pixonic, please explain to me. You have a YouTube channel. You can comment with your YouTube channel. I know you watch these videos, don't it? You know, why are you nerfing these? I mean, if you're looking at the stats, you should see that there is not a lot of people using these weapons. So if a weapon is almost like never being used, what's the point of nerfing it? Damage per stat, what? And they even reduced the dot damage. I mean, again, remember, a useless stat, but wow. From the Basilisk only. Huh. This is confusing the heck out of me. I never saw someone use the weapon, and Pixonic feels like it's overperforming. It just boggles my mind. Okay, pilots. Yan Li. Special skills won't work on Titans released... Wait a minute. Special skills won't work on Titans released before 11.6. Did they change it, or did I read this before wrong? Titans, Yan Li. Only works on tier 3. Works on all Titans. Works on all Titans before 11.6. Wait. So this is the newer version of the nerf. This one is taking effect. The other one that I've just read is outdated. So I was correct when I, complained about them changing the pilot to something that will only work until now, but future Titans will no longer work with Yan Li. It used to work on all Titans, then it was changed to only work on tier 3 Titans. Remember, they changed the tier levels on the Titans, probably related to this. And then they changed the tier levels back and said, screw it, we're doing it in another way. We're changing it so that it will only work until 11.6. Okay. Where were we? Oh my god, how much do I still have to go through? Holy smokes, there's so much to come, guys. Otto Schreier. Special skills now work on arm weapons. Wait, okay, because they're plasma weapons, I guess. Interesting. Alright, interesting, I like that. It's a good change, it makes sense. Ultimate Titans. Ultimate Arthur... What? The Ultimate Arthur just casually loses, like, almost 200,000 HP. Its defense points go down by 280? So you're effectively saying the only thing keeping the Arthur alive is its shield. That's the only thing you've got. If you can bypass the shield, the Arthur just dies instantly now. Repair per second, ultimate upgrade branch. What? Okay, minus 30,000. So down to 10,000. Movement speed goes down. Blast wave damage goes down. Blast wave cooldown increase. Yo! What happened? An ultimate Arthur. So you've decided overnight that the ultimate Arthur is basically now a normal Arthur, yeah? Okay. Glad I didn't level that one. But again, the nerf hits some of you guys. Unacceptable. Let's keep in mind, all of those items were very often been bought from real world money. It's unacceptable to take somebody's money away. It's what they're doing. They're taking their dirty fingers into your purse, grabbing the money out of it. Basically, you could formulate it differently. They've basically convinced you to pay for the game, but then they're taking your value out of your purchase. The shot interval of ultimate Grum is now slower. The reload amount is higher, but the reload threshold higher. Yeah. Heh. Okay. Different numbers though. It's just a weird way of putting things this time here. Ultimate robots, the ultimate sword unit. Okay. Remember I asked some questions before about this. Ultimate sword unit gains durability. Yo, it gains durability. It gains movement speed. The sword attack duration, however, goes down because it was way too long. Apart from attack duration, all other parameters of the melee attack are the same as on the ordinary edition. Oh, wow. So the full damage nerf also hits the ultimate sword unit. And that's why the ultimate sword unit gets more durability in return. Okay, wow. Wow, that last line really kills it right there. Ultimate Leech gets more durability. Repulse directional damage is reduced, so you throw back a lot less damage with the Ultimate Leech from the leeching. Repulse damage, bonus defense points are going down. Okay, and drastic, like 30% down, 33. Repulse duration is down. Ultimate Leech. Repulse cooldown from 14 to 12 seconds. Okay, it's a faster cooldown in return. Iron Will. Einar Stalson. Ability cooldown reduced from 15 to 10%. Wait, so they reduce the cooldown here and then they make it longer again. Alright. Ultimate Griffin. The dazzling jump damage bonus is only 10% now, not 20%. The damage bonus duration is only 5 seconds, half as much damage bonus, and also reduced duration. Counterblind duration is only 3 seconds. That's actually something that I really like, because I was sick of those ultimate griffins just jumping left and right. Every time you shoot them, you get suppressed, blinded. It was incredibly annoying. And the dazzling jump cooldown it's shorter though, so they kind of do it higher more often now though. So doesn't that mean it stays kind of the same though? Nah, okay, it's every time you only 3 seconds blinded. I guess we can live with that. Ultimate Destrier gets more durability, bonus movement speed in annihilation mode. What? 120%? Alright, I know I have one. I just never had the ultimate ions, both of them. I only have one. And I think you needed both of them to get that extra one or so. Wasn't there a thing like this? Ultimate Fujin, Aegis capacity increased. Cool. I think the Ultimate Fujin was not that particularly super powerful, but it's good that it has an Aegis shield and you can use it on the move. Ultimate Spectre, Descent stealth duration is longer again, and Descent cooldown is also shorter. Ultimate Spectre got a little bit of a bump here. Kind of deserved, I think. Ultimate Invader, movement speed goes up. Defense points go up. I agree. All tanks in the game really had a problem, especially invaders. They're such nice damage sponges. It was so nice to just get yourself a massive amount of damage on your stats by shooting down invaders, because they have this big health pool and they don't absorb much. Now it gets at least a little more defense points. Tanks aren't really working that well, especially since as soon as Titans are in the game, the tanks basically die, right? The only way you can prevent it is the ultimate, Fenrir with the other ultimate, the other legendary pilot that even will prevent Titan weapons from bypassing its resistance. That is one tank that can stay alive. Okay, but something like this should be more widely rolled out, I think, also for other tanks like the Falcon, for example. Falcon dies as soon as the Titans are on the battlefield. Ultimate Mender, durability repair per pulse goes up slightly, not much. Cooldown goes down, so faster, very nice. Damage bonus from upgrading to Mark II is from 15 to 30%. Great change, I like it. How many Ultimate Menders have we seen? You know, people tend to use what's most powerful, and that's not the Mender. Ultimate Ares, absorber duration goes slightly up, built in, but it's only 5 seconds. Interesting. Remember the old regular Ares? It had like, what, 8 seconds, 9 seconds absorbers duration? It was nuts. Built-in weapon effective duration, so it fires for a second longer too. Alright, deserved. And then ultimate weapons. Ultimate arm weapons, damage per particle goes down, and medium as well. Ultimate shredder gains damage per particle, but gets higher spread, so loses it at range, but more damage in short range. Okay, but the ultimate shredders were already devastatingly crazy. I think those weapons were already overperforming, now it's getting crazier. Here, there is the initial nerf of the ultimate Tulumbas, although I think it's already, yeah, this is already the updated stats that I've read before. Consecutive maximum damage bonus for consecutive shots. No longer 200%, it's 150%. And the ammo is 12. So you're losing massive damage bonus here, and you're having a much slower, like half the fire rate, even slower than half. Ultimate Scourge loses damage, reload interval longer, stores a little more ammo, but that's not really gonna make up for it. Wow, that's a big nerf for Ultimate Scourge. Ultimate Havocs gets a damage increase, but the shot interval goes up too, and it gets more spread, especially vertical. Holy smokes. Ammo goes slightly up though, but overall nerf, good nerf, strong nerf. With good, I mean it's really like substantial. Ultimate Hussar Dragoon loses damage. Shot interval goes up, slower firing. Those weapons, yeah, I mean they were strong, yeah, but I haven't seen so many people use it. Ammo, 12 to 14 shots, okay. Ultimate Avenger, oh yeah, those things are going down, and more particle dispersion as well. These things were terribly powerful. Now they're a lot less so. Ultimate Vortex, damage increase, and reload increase, like faster reload. Wow, okay. So the Vortex is also like, the fire and forget. Bulavakistan, Vortex, interesting. Oh boy, now we're getting to the juicy part. The robots, Teth. Physical shield durability. Only 95,000 now. Physical shield replacement time. Oof! Instead of 20, 45 seconds, dude. Sandstorm cooldown. 13 seconds. A little faster. Scarabaeus, physical shield durability. 250% to 200%. Scarabaeus, more damage for EMP. Okay, so that goes slightly up. But, dude, the physical shield durability change on the Scarabaeus effect, together with the actual physical shield changing drastically, and then the shield replacement duration, oh gosh. That is goodbye Teth, man. That's a minus 30% or maybe even minus 35% Teth. Just from the, like, guessing the number. Sword unit. Durability goes down. Remember the ultimate one was going up. Movement speed goes up. Sword damage, 8,000 to 3,000. Skyfall / cooldown, shorter. Sword executive threshold is, execute threshold is only 12% now. So you'll be doing that less often. The ward damage bonus duration while in flight, 6 seconds only. 6 seconds only. Wow. the absorber shield. And the built-in weapon damage per particle is also reduced. Holy moly, that is a big nerf for the sword unit. Oh, wow. Some jock, more durability. Autonomous weapon damage per particle, the turret loses a good 20%, 25% damage output. Autonomous weapon shot interval is faster though. So more damage coming a little bit back here, but minimal. Autonomous weapon target lead accuracy. Oh, it's missing shots too now. Wow, you can make the turret move its shots now by moving fast. That's a big change. If you fly around with something fast, it will probably not hit you very well. Sunstorm fuel consumption, 100%. So you have half the range. You have half the range in your phase shift with the Samjock, and the cooldown has been increased as well. And the Chong drone, repair upon exiting, is 1%. Wow. Wow, is that a change, guys? Condor, durability, 300,000 to 320. Movement speed goes up. Celestial voice flight duration, it's still long though. 10 seconds is actually a relatively long flight. It's actually a really long flight. 14 seconds was just outrageous. Should never have had that in the first place, but you know, whatever. Celestial voiced cooldown increase, and repair goes up though, per broken shield thingy. Built-in damage per particle. So the built-in weapon does less damage. Not super much, but it's noticeable. Built-in weapon shot interval is halved. Oh my goodness, so you have 4 seconds less flight duration, and during those remaining 10 seconds, you will fire only half as many built-in weapon shots that also do less damage. So altogether, that's like a 60% damage nerf for the built-in weapon. Or maybe even 65. Built-in weapon particle dispersion as well, jeez. Okay, so the Condor effectively does no damage with its built-in weapon anymore. Raptor. Manipulation, Gina Bertini. Repair bonus. The Raptor repairs less damage. EMP duration is shorter. Built-in weapon damage is halved. And the bonus durability is increased. Okay. The Raptor has already been nerfed before. Remember, it's these phases of nerfs, and this is the next one. Ravager. Cliff the Buzz durability regeneration has been reduced by 20%. And then the durability bonus has been reduced by 66.6%. It's like 1/3 of it now. And the lockdown, and I think before, no, wasn't it that they removed this even and made it like 3% before? When I saw it below. Lockdown duration only 3 seconds. Wow. Moderator drone, bonus damage per stack while in stealth. Only 3%. Moderator drone, maximum amount of damage bonuses is increased though. Wow, now they're killing the drones too. Puppet Master, Willow combat bot damage bonus 10 to 7%. The Ducks robot. Webby drone, slowdown stack limit from 15 to 5. Slowdown cooldown from 10 to 15. Wow, my concentration is getting lower, guys. Rust duration is getting up. Mender gains durability, the regular Mender. Support movement speed bonus goes twice as high. That's awesome. Support bonus defense points, also much higher. Very nice. I like that. Was needed, was desperately needed. Also the Wayland now, because nobody plays really those support robots. Very few people do. Okay, support mode repairs per pulse goes up. Good up, actually. It's like 25% or 20%. Support mode defense points also slightly up. And movement speed reduction is less substantial. So you're faster while you're in the healing mode. Great change. I really support this. Well spotted, Pixonic. You saw that this thing really needs some love and you gave it to it. That's what you guys, that's what your job is. That's what you guys should be doing more often. Nightingale, movement speed bonus went down. Air support repair pulse slightly down. Air support suppression power down from 75 to 60%. Okay. Air support damage per particle a little up. Okay, but it doesn't really do a lot of damage. Demeter. Repair cover effect range increased. Nice. 650 meters. Wow. Repair cover cooldown is faster as well. Repairing cover single time repairs, so per use, I guess. It's when you use up the rest of it. And repair cover repairs per pulse are going up. So it's definitely much more useful to let the pulses happen and not take it into a one-hit repair, unless you do it at the end. Of course, Fafnir. Built-in weapon damage per particle. 1,355 to 1,500 absorber damage accumulation plus 20%. And the cooldown goes down too. Nice. The Fafnir is back, guys. I'm gonna make a video about this. The Hawk. Reflected damage 50 to 60%. Reflects more. Built-in firing duration 10 seconds. Does that mean the Hawk also flies a little longer? Huh. Or does it mean the laser beam already starts firing as he gets up and comes down? Because I don't know how they do this, because the Hawk doesn't even fly this long. I don't think it only flies like 6 to 8 seconds, 7. Also, again, I've said this 100 times and Pixonic has 100 times ignored it. What the Hawk really needs to be a fun robot again is to be able to gain its reflector the moment you press the fly button and lose it the moment you touch the ground after flight. Same as all the other robots typically have their abilities run, right? Just look at the Fafnir, press the button, shield is there. Look at Raptor, presses the button, gets the reflector, you know, or the thingy. It's everywhere. The jump, the sword unit, and so on. The defense activates with the button press. So why not with the Hawk? What is your vendetta with the Hawk? Give it to him. It would not be an overpowered robot. It would just be useful. Actually, you could just use it. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? Because right now, basically, you need a phase shift to start and a phase shift to land. How dumb is that? All right, Seraph. Durability goes up. Built-in weapon damage per particle goes up slightly, though. And Skyward bonus to movement speed is also better. Have they meanwhile fixed the lasers coming through walls? I haven't had this in a while. I think they fixed this, right? Alright, Mars. Aegis capacity goes up. Turret per particle shot goes slightly up. Remote assault turret movement speed. Cool. Okay, goes up as well. Nice. I like it. The Mars was very underplayed. Underrepresented in the game. Strix. Durability, let me get closer. Strix, durability goes up. Okay. Movement speed goes up. The duration of the ability goes down. That's a problem. Because it now means you can shoot a lot less with your heavy weapons, and that's kind of the selling point of the Strix. You're bringing out a robot that has this unique ability of 5 heavy weapons, and at the same time you're like taking the effective time in which you can use them. Actually, hold on. Sorry, it's longer now. My apologies, it's longer. Oh, that's good. Okay, that's really good. Nice. So what this now means, you can fire 5 times thermite twice. That's what it means, guys. You know what we're gonna do next? 5 times thermite twice. Holy smokes. That is good. That is good. Alright, I guess I hated the fact that you could never fire a thermite twice with it. You know? And then robot weapons, Hatred, Dreshed, and Prescient. Less damage per particle. These, like a really strong nerf on all of the medium, light, heavy. Ammo goes down as well. Jeez, that's like a 30% nerf for these weapons. Arm weapons? Wow, that's like 50%, dude. Yo. And the ammo capacity too. Dude, those arm weapons just lost like 55% of their effectiveness. Holy smokes, man. I'm not even joking. Gangil Mogwan, we already had this before. I think I've read the more up-to-date version. Same as on the Growler, which we've already had. Aramis Porthos. Fires slower, but the reload amount is higher, so you can fire longer. Much longer now. Regulators. Losing damage per particle drastically, then the damage at long range, the damage bonus, increased per dispersion, slightly increased ammo, but doesn't really help. Magnetar. Damage per particle goes slightly up, reload interval down, ammo minus Wow, minus 14 shots. Magnetar just lost 70% of its ammo pool. Or 65, 60. Wow, that is significant, man. The little bit of damage increase does nothing to help you out there. Prisma. Damage bonus for long range shots. Oh, minus 50%. Was the Prisma really overpowered? I mean, I remember I did get killed by it pretty quickly, pretty often too. Reload interval. Higher. Much higher. Oof. Ammo goes up though, so you're basically losing DPM. Your effective DPM has been basically halved if you fire it at long range. Reaper, damage per particle went down, and shot interval went up. So you fire slower your magazine now. Trickster Deceiver, damage per... This is what we've read before. The dispersion was reduced. It's not enough. Like I said, it's not enough, guys. You really have to look at those weapons. Oh my god, when are we finally done there? Jesus. Splinter Shatter Brisant. Okay, we've had this before. I've read this already. And the Boom Bash Pow reduced this. Okay, now drones. Drones and orbital support, and then Titan specializations. And robot specializations. Oh god, still so much. Okay, drones. Built-in weapon damage particle on the Aopo drone goes down. Built-in particle dispersion. Okay, doesn't matter. Required flight duration to activate Aegis shield upon landing. Wait a minute. So now you have to be in the air for at least 7 seconds to be able to gain the Aopo drone. Does that mean you can even still use the jump unit with it? I don't think you jump for 7 seconds when you use a jump unit. So everybody using jump unit with the Aopo drone will have it no longer works, and many robots will no longer work either. This is sick, man. So what they always do, they take the drones because they make a lot of money selling those stupid things, and then they just basically remove them. Remember when Kestrel drone became like a only stealth robot drone? It used to be our universal super drone. Also the little guy, forgot the name. That little robot thingy. It was so good for us, like a universal drone. And they keep changing it and removing them, basically. Nerfing even more and releasing even more so you can compensate for your heavy losses over the years. This is why. What you do sucks. Through those terrible changes that are always anti-consumer, then you would still have a large player base and you could still finance yourself. Instead, you're throwing whatever you've got left into War Robots Frontiers that barely anybody plays. The Dino Squad is dead. What else do you got? The only thing you've got left is War Robots, and it's dead. Because of you. Because of this. Yeah, just ignore us. Ignore our feedback. Ban the creators. Lash back at them, because that's the way to go. Oh man. Hiroko drone. Bonus durability upon activation of the module. Halved. Dot upon activation of module. Halved. Ability 4 doesn't provide a 5% permanent damage bonus. Only 1% bonus per stack. So, okay, Hiroko drone is dead. Aopo drone is dead. Shay drone is dead. We had this before. Now let's come to the battleships. Frederick battleship. All of those layers of powers that you have purchased from real world money. Damage bonus, 90 to 50%. Haven't they nerfed something before recently also? Wasn't this a lot more than 90% before, like 140% or something? And then they made it 90, and now it's 50% phase 2 of the same nerf for the same battleship? I'm sorry, are players still using the Frederick battleship? Is that the problem here, right? The players are actually still using it? They're not supposed to, right, Pixonic? They're not supposed to use this anymore. You're supposed to buy the new one. Again, this is why you are getting out of business. And you just don't understand. You just don't understand. You're planning to use this failing strategy to grab the last bit of monetization by increasing the frequency of new content, increasing the strength of your nerfs for the previously sold content. Like, you're forcing this coin so much more and more players are just leaving and quitting out. Every day I read it in the comment section. People writing every day. And it's new people every day writing me that, "Oh, nice, you're making still videos, but I've already stopped playing long ago." That's the common theme now, Pixonic. I wonder why, huh? So, movement speed bonus, 100 to 70%. Stack decay. You know, the sad thing is that even though I'm criticizing you guys, what I really want is the best for war robots. This is what you just... Maybe you probably hate that I criticize you like this. Put you up against the wall, which you belong to, in my opinion, with doing these BS things, these shenanigans that are always anti-consumer. The guys that you have literally to thank for everything you have is your player base. That's what you've got everything to thank for them to do all this, to play your game, to pay in the game. You should be grateful for them. Instead, you screw them over every step of the way, every chance you get. Just look at how unfair the pilot skills are, how you change a pilot, you start from scratch. Even the individual pilot skill has to be retrained. What the heck? If it had already been unlocked, it can stay unlocked. You know, the strength of war robots, I keep saying, this is the customization, is this sandbox where you can experiment and try out this, try out that, slap this weapon on, and this pilot with this drone and this combination. And over the years, have you noticed how you have increasingly restricted this sandbox freedom of customization? And you monetized every aspect to an absolute ludicrous level. Of course the game is dying and the people are running away from it. And I'm sitting here being the bad guy. You hate the fact that I do all this and criticize you. But the only thing I really want is for this game to be successful. No longer my entire income, but a big portion of it is tied to this channel and this game, right? So I have the best interest for war robots at heart in my mind. And maybe you don't always agree with the way I word this when I say you suck. But in this moment, I'm sorry to say it, but you really just suck when you do things like this. Just stop sucking, for God's sakes, man. Start being awesome again, how we used to know you, when the game was great. Do you really think it's too late to go back to a good game where not every update you do has to be anti-player base? Frozen Scorn Battleship. Oh wait, the stack decay rate. So your bonuses decay at a 50% faster rate now on the Frederick. The bonuses that are already a joke. The movement speed goes down, the damage boost is down, and now it decays 50% faster. So you press the button, for 3-4 seconds you can use slight bonuses and that's it. That's your battleship use. So what does that tell you? It tells you get the new battleship. The new one that doesn't suffer from these nerfs, you know, that gives you awesome bonuses still. Frozen Scorn, dot goes up, dot duration down, slowdown goes down. I don't know many people who have actually used this Frozen Scorn, honestly. Avalon Battleship, repairs are going down even further. We've seen how many nerfs for the Avalon Battleship at this point, where the repair used to be so much higher, or what was the other thing that the bonus that was already removed? The cleansing stack limit. You used to have 15 cleansing stacks, or 10? I think it was 15 or 12. Then they changed it in the first phase of the nerf to 5 cleansing stacks. So you gather your battleship, and this is not even a battleship that gives you crazy amount of bonuses. It isn't even a battleship that destroys your enemy or something like this. This battleship's job is literally just to give you freedom of movement. And that's what they already say. It's too much. You can't have that much freedom of movement. Can't have it. Too much to ask. Movement of suppression, movement of being able to freely move. It used to be 12 or 15. You would have a substantial amount of protection from a battleship that really doesn't do anything else for you. Just protects you from getting suppressed and locked down all the freaking time, which happens constantly in the game. And even just this little bit of a bonus is too much to ask. Now it's 3. 3. Avalon is dead. Completely dead. The battleship is gone. You may as well delete it from the game right now and compensate players for 5 million silver. Because that's who you are, Pixonic. That's who you are. This is exactly who you are. Bifrost, defense point accumulation rate from 5 to 7. Faster. Or longer seconds, actually. Duration. Oh, hold on. Defense point accumulation duration. Okay, it's longer, yeah. Duration of retaining the maximum of defense points is also increased. Bonus defense points increase as well. So the Bifrost actually gets a buff. Alright. Nice to see. The Bifrost is, however, a newer battleship than Avalon, Frozen Scorn, and Frederick. So, you're being consistent, Pixonic. Paladin, repair, goes down even further. I can't believe it. It used to be much more. Then it was nerfed to this level. Now it's nerfed to this level. Phase number 3 of the nerf. Aegis durability went down to 180,000 now. Goodbye, Paladin battleship. Shame on you, Pixonic. Shame on you. For every player who have invested real money and effort, playtime, leveling these items, and you literally just strip them from their accounts. This is the moment when I say you suck. These are the moments. There were some good changes too, and I always make sure to mention them as well, because I'm happy when I see you doing something great. But let's just say overall, through all the changes, how much of this was positive? 10% at max. All of the other things are just monetization for you. It's just a monetization strategy. Nerf the previous, bring the new. That's all it is, 90% of it. Beholder battleship, the beam damage. The blast is now applied correctly. Alright, can't deny that I like the fact that there is less damage from this stupid beam coming. I hated that beam. But again, I cannot ever be pro-nerf. If I was pro-nerf, it would mean I like that a lot of you guys have just lost money. I can't do that. Needs to be done right from the start. So, mute battleship, blind and EMP duration, 7 to 9 seconds. Okay. It's actually longer. It's longer again. The mute battleship was nerfed. I think it was like 12 seconds before, then 7, now 9. So the mute battleship actually gets a buff. It's more relevant again. Titan specialization, self-fix reactor goes half down. Titan repair amplifier, again, modules, right? But then again, those modules no longer are purchased and you can use them everywhere like we used to have it. Now you purchase them for every individual robot and every time start from scratch because Pixonic can never monetize something enough. Titan repair amp repairs 15% now instead of 20. Gray damage repair only 20% instead of 30%. Okay. Ultimate specialization permanent damage and durability bonus from 2 to 1%. Half as much. Ultimate plated armor kit actually goes slightly up. Makes sense, I guess, because I don't think many people have been using this. Ultimate antimatter reactor goes slightly up. Okay. Ultimate grand balance reactor goes slightly up. Titan last stand goes up. Actually, you know, it's funny. I don't think I ever saw somebody running this. I don't think I ever saw somebody running Titan last stand. Now that I think about it. Everybody uses the other branches. Titan immunity amplifier. Bonus durability 3 to 4%. Movement, bonus movement speed 3 to 4%. Meters per second. Kilo. I'm losing my concentration. It's been just too many numbers going through my mind. I'm sorry, guys. We're getting a little faster with it. All right. Robot specialization, robot accelerated on unit, overdrive units, slow, module slow, slots swapped. I can't go anymore. It's too much. Beacon operator, beacons capture bonus increases. Makes sense. Nobody uses that. Robot accelerator, twice as much. Good. Look at the rate between nerf and buffs. And those are probably the moderators. This is crazy. And then we're down here. Okay. We've seen this, right? Yeah, we did. Oh my goodness, this was the longest video ever. And it took every ounce of my energy. And now I think there's gonna be a Star Citizen update coming, the tech preview with the new see, my brain is just mush now. With a new ship. What's it called? Perseus. The Perseus is now coming in. I have to make a video on that. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you had a good time. I don't know how many of you guys are actually still here. Like, maybe 3% of you. Thanks for staying through, though. And, yeah, I appreciate it. Catch you in the next video, and Manny signing off. Bye-bye, my friends. P.S. Pixonic, we would all love if you could go back to the old days, where the game was fantastic. I realize this would be a very difficult transition. I'm not even sure if it's possible, but there's no reason or no need to go further down the same path that leads to, inevitably, to self-destruction. You must realize that. So, a change of plans is in order. It was already 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And now, you know, it's almost too late. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Manny signing off. Bye-bye.